Prosecutors charged a man with killing his ex hours after she filed a temporary restraining order against him. As Bill Miston explains, that was granted, but it was too late. Bill.
Yeah, hi there, Kim. 32-year-old Kiana Pliska said
She thought filing the paperwork would save her life. Instead, it may have set the clock on her death. On July 16th, in a quiet apartment parking lot in St.Francis, Wisconsin, 32-year-old Kiana Pliska was shot again and again in front of her 6-year-old son by the one person who was supposed to protect that child too, his own father. And here's the part that's going to sit heavy with you. Just hours before she died, Kiana had walked into a courthouse and asked the judge to protect her from him. The order was granted, but it came after she was already gone. Before we go further, if you're new here, welcome to Shadow Crime. This is the kind of story we cover every single week. Real cases, real victims, real accountability. So if you care about that, do me a favor right now, hit subscribe and tap that bell icon. I say this every time because it genuinely matters. When you don't subscribe, stories like Kiana's get buried under algorithms and forgotten in a news cycle. She deserves better than that. Her son deserves better than that. So let's get into it. Kiana Pliska was a mother, a sister, an aunt. People who knew her say she always had a smile on her face, that she was the type of person who showed up for others without being asked twice. She lived in Cudahy, a small, tight-knit community just outside Milwaukee, and by every account, she was building a life for herself and her little boy. But behind that smile, Kiana had been living in fear for months. It started small, or at least it seemed small at first. Back in January, she found something strange in her car, a tiny tracking device, an AirTag, hidden away where she wouldn't easily notice it. That's when things started to shift. Suddenly, her ex, Randall Lenyard, the father of her son, started appearing everywhere. Her house, her job, even a friend's workplace. Think about that for a second. Imagine looking up from your desk at work and seeing him standing there. Imagine that becoming normal. By February, it escalated further. Kiana said Lenyard threatened her, put his hands around her throat, pinned her down. Police did arrest him that night, but he was released. And here's a pattern we see over and over in cases like this. An arrest without real consequence often just becomes another chapter in the story, not the ending. By April, Kiana had had enough. She filed for a restraining order. That should have been the turning point. That should have been the moment safety started. But it wasn't, because 2 days before she filed it, Lenyard allegedly threatened to take his own life, telling her it was because she didn't want to be with him anymore. And that's a manipulation tactic we need to talk about, because it works more often than people realize. That's word one of the story, but it's far from where it ends.
Prosecutors charged a man with killing his ex hours after she filed a temporary restraining order against him. As Bill Miston explains, that was granted, but it was too late. Bill.
Yeah, hi there, Kim. 32-year-old Kiana Pliska said she'd been stalked, physically and emotionally abused by her ex for months. Last Thursday, she asked the court, petitioning the court, for a temporary restraining order. But hours later, she would be dead. Pliska was shot and killed in a parking lot near Packard and Lake Drive in St. Francis last Thursday night. Today, prosecutors charged her ex-boyfriend, Randall Lenyard, with first-degree intentional homicide and stalking. Court filings say the shooting happened during an exchange of their child. Pliska was shot multiple times and later died at the hospital. Police arrested Lenyard later that evening. Court filings say Lenyard admitted to killing Pliska and driving off with their son. Now, court records show Pliska filed a temporary restraining order against Lenyard earlier that day, accusing Lenyard of stalking her for months. Now, Pliska also filed a restraining order against Lenyard this past spring. A relative of Lenyard who urged Pliska to file that petition for a restraining order told police that Lenyard, quote, sucked her back in. And Pliska didn't go to that hearing, and ultimately that petition was dismissed. As for Lenyard, he's set to appear on the charges this week. It's unclear if he has an attorney who can speak on his behalf. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Bill Miston, Fox 6 News.
Such a difficult story, and now learning that a child possibly was a witness. Thank you, Bill.
What happened next is something a lot of survivors will recognize immediately. And if you've ever lived through something like this, I want you to really sit with this part. On April 27th, Lled admitted in a written court document that he owned 4 firearms, 2 handguns, 2 rifles. That's not a small detail. That's a man telling a court on paper that he had the means to do exactly what he later did. And that same day, something happened that should terrify all of us. A relative of Lled's later told police that he had, in her words, sucked Kiana back in, and Kiana didn't show up to court that day. The restraining order was dismissed. Now I want to pause here, because I know some of you watching might be thinking, why would she go back? And if that thought crossed your mind, I need you to understand something. Abuse isn't just physical, it's psychological, it's isolation. It's someone convincing you that you're the problem, that things will change, that leaving is more dangerous than staying. Kiana wasn't weak for going back. She was human, caught in a cycle that millions of people find themselves trapped in every single year. For the next couple of months, things seemed to quiet down. But quiet doesn't mean safe. Quiet, in cases like this, often means a storm is just building somewhere out of sight. Then came July 11th. Kiana and her sister were out on Water Street when Lled allegedly showed up again, watching, following. From that point on, he didn't stop. He started appearing wherever she went. And when he couldn't find her himself, he started asking people around her where she was. Think about how exhausting that is, having to look over your shoulder every single day, not knowing who might be feeding information to the person you're afraid of. Then on July 15th, one day before her death, it got worse. Lled allegedly showed up to Kiana's home and kicked the door in. The impact was so strong it broke the hinges and the locks completely off the frame. And here's the detail that I think about the most. Her son, their son, was the one who called 911, a child, dialing for help because the adults in his life couldn't keep him safe in his own home. The very next day, July 16th, Kiana went to court one more time. She filed a new petition, this time laying out everything: the tracking, the physical abuse, the emotional abuse, months of fear compressed into a legal document. In her own words, she wrote that she was scared of what he was going to do next. She had no idea just how right she was. That same day, under a custody agreement that rotated every 7 days, Lled was scheduled to pick up their son. The exchange was set to happen at their old apartment, the place they used to call home together. Now just a location on a police report waiting to happen.
It was an execution.
Randall Leonard Sr. is charged with killing Kiana Pliska the night of July 16th after stalking her for months. According to a criminal complaint, when the two met at the Lake Park Apartments with their 6-year-old son, Leonard shot Pliska 7 times.
After the initial shooting, you came around and shot 2 or 3 more times, like a mob execution. You made sure that this shooting was successful.
Investigators say he then drove away with his son and texted his sister admitting to shooting Pliska.
She saw me pull out my gun. She got out of the car and started to run, so I shot her. She started screaming, so I knew she was still alive, so I just kept shooting her. He continues and goes on to say, I'm about to do it to myself and my son.
His sister told investigators she was able to convince him to meet her in a parking lot without police to take the child safely. Leonard was arrested in his car in Wauwatosa later that night.
Mr. Lled has given a full confession.
The complaint says Pliska filed a restraining order against Lled in April, but it was dismissed when he convinced her not to show up to court. Court records show she reported him stalking her repeatedly, putting an AirTag on her car, showing up to her home, choking her, and once claiming he shot himself in the hand because of her.
Prior to the homicide, the behavior is escalating, and it is escalating significantly, and it is escalating with violence and with weapons.
One day before Pliska was killed, she told officers her hairstylist had received a call from Lled pretending to be a detective looking for Pliska. That's when she filed a restraining order. It was granted the day after she died.
If someone truly wants to kill someone, even a piece of paper or a court order is not going to stop it.
It was just before 7 p.m. on July 16th when police in St. Francis got the call. Multiple reports of gunshots near Lake Park Apartments. When officers arrived, they found Kiana on the ground, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, her breathing already shallow. She was rushed to Frontera Hospital, but the injuries were too severe. She died in the operating room. Now, here's where the story takes a turn that I think will stay with you long after this video ends. According to the criminal complaint, lled called his own sister right after the shooting, and what he told her is honestly hard to even repeat. He said, quote, "She saw me pull my gun out. She got out of the car and started to run, so I shot her. She started screaming, so I knew she was still alive, so I just kept on shooting her." Read that again. He kept shooting because he knew she was alive. That wasn't panic. That was a decision made in real time, over and over again. And then it got even darker. lled told his sister, "I'm about to do it to myself and my son." Think about what that means for a second. Their 6-year-old boy, who had just watched his mother get shot, was now in a car with a man who was talking about ending both of their lives. His sister couldn't reach Kiana by phone. She called her brother instead, and he confirmed it. He was planning to hurt himself and the child. She called 911 immediately. But here's the breakthrough in this story, the moment that changed everything. Instead of following through, lled drove and met his sister, and he handed the boy over safely. That little boy is alive today because of that decision, or maybe because of something his sister said. We may never fully know. Police caught up with lled after a chase that ended in Wauwatosa, and he was arrested around 8:20 that same night. When investigators spoke to him, he admitted it plainly. He said, "We started to argue and I shot her." He confirmed he shot her while she was running, then left the scene with his son. lled was formally charged with first-degree intentional homicide and stalking. He appeared in court on July 22nd, with cash bond set at $250,000. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for July 29th, and if convicted on all charges, he is facing life in prison. Kiana's family has since set up a fundraiser to support them through this, and a celebration of life is planned for July 31st. So here's what I want you to sit with. Kiana did everything the system tells survivors to do. She documented the abuse. She called the police. She filed the paperwork. She warned the courts in writing that she was scared. And still, none of it arrived in time. So I want to ask you honestly, what does justice even look like in a case like this? Is a courtroom ever really fast enough to outrun a man who's already decided what he's going to do? And how many more women are living through exactly what Kiana lived through right now, tonight, hoping the system moves quicker for them than it did for her? If this story moved you the way it moved me, do not scroll past without hitting subscribe and tapping that bell icon. Kiana deserves to be remembered, and her story deserves to reach more than just this video. This is Shadow Crime, and we'll see you in the next one.